Hey, fifth graders, Mr. Greenfield back. I want to go over our little feedback on yesterday's assignment. If you remember from yesterday, you were working on the buying games and you had watched a video on the leveling of numbers. And for this activity, you're purchasing these items. You have to find the mean, the median, and the mode. And then each time you go through this, they're going to have you purchase another game, make a prediction. Is that going to have an effect on the mean or the median or the mode based on what information they give you? So if we look at these prices of our different games that we're going to purchase here, if you remember from your foldable to find the mean, you add all the games up and divide by how many they are. So I'm going to put these in order. And a lot of you probably had your calculator handy yesterday and you went through and used your calculator to add all of these up. So if I add all of these up, I get 42. Now, there are 6 different games to choose from. So I'm going to take 42 and divide it by 6. And that's going to give me 7 because 7 times 6 is 42. So the mean price you should have had yesterday was 7. Now, if you don't remember on the median is when you put all the data in order from smallest to largest, like we did here, and you find that middle value. So if I cross off the lowest and the highest and work my way to the middle, I have 2 numbers in the middle. And if you remember from your foldable, when you have 2 numbers in the middle, you find the middle of those two, or you can add them together and find the mean. So if I add these two together, I get 14. And if I divide 14 in half, I get 7. And if we think about it, 7 would come right between 6 and 8. So that has to be our median value. So the mean and the median are the same. Now the mode is what occurs most often. If you look at these, we have no data points that occur more than once. So in this case, we wouldn't have a mode because we don't have any numbers that repeat. So we can write no mode, or I'm going to write the word none here on that. Now it says these games that is our original data set. So for each of the following questions from here on out, we have to make a prediction whether the new information is going to change the mean, median, and mode, and explain our thinking, and then use the information to calculate a new mean, median, or mode. So if I flip over my bundle, what I did is I transferred that data set up here. And I hope you did that same thing yesterday. And then I added the new number. So we have a 7th game that we purchased that was $21. So I automatically put them in order because that's going to help me later when I'm finding the median. So a lot of times when you're doing these steps, it's helpful to think ahead about what do I need. Now, is this new information going to change things? Well, we're adding 21 more onto our data set. And instead of dividing by 6, this time we're going to divide by 7. So my prediction is I think it is going to change the mean. Reason being is we have more data and we're adding a larger number. I don't think it's going to change the mode because it didn't look like we added any more numbers that repeat. So that I think is going to stay the same. In the median, I think will change because before we had 6 numbers, we had 2 numbers in the middle. We had to find the mean of that to get our median. And now we have an odd number in our data set. So we should have one number smack dab in the middle. So I know the median is going to change. So those are my predictions. I'm not sure what you predicted, but it doesn't matter what you predicted, is can you take this new information and these new changes and find the mean, median, and mode? Because that's part of our state standard is being able to do that with a set of data. So I'm going to find the mean, and one shortcut that I'm going to do, I know my answer was 42 last time. when I added those 6 numbers up. So really all I need to do is add my new number to that. And my total of all those numbers when I add them up is 63. Or you could have went back and added 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 9 plus 13 plus 21, and you would still get 63. But this time, I'm taking 63 and I'm dividing it by 7. Now, some of you might be thinking, why 7? Well, we now have 7 data points, whereas on the front side, if you remember, we only had 6 games. So we added another game, so we have to divide by 7 this time. So the new mean price, 63 divided by 7, if you know your basic facts, that's going to be 9. So the mean did change. Whereas last time it was 7, now it's going to be 9. The median is that middle value when I put them in order from smallest to largest. If I rewrite my data set here, and I cross off the 21 and the 2, and I cross off the 4 and the 13, and the 6 and the 9, I have one number right in the middle. So my median also changed. Before it was 7, now it's going to be 8. And my mode, the mode is still none because we don't have any numbers that repeat themselves. So was my prediction correct? Yes, it was. And how did the new information affect the mean, median, and mode? The mean increased and the median increased and the mode stayed the same when I take a look at that. So the mean actually increased because I added 21 more and I divided by one extra number. The median increased because when I put them in order, I now have 7 pieces of data instead of 6, and 8 would be the middle value. So a lot of that did change. If I look at sheet B, you start with the original set of 6 games, then you return the $2 game to the store. So you only have 5 games. So my original set was 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and 13. But it says I return this, so I'm getting my money back. So I only have 5 numbers in my data set now. So I predict that the mean is going to change because now instead of 42, because my original data set was 42, if you remember, now all those numbers are going to add up to 40. And I have to divide by 5 because I only have 5 games. So that is going to change my mean price. My median, that is going to change as well from the original data set because now I'm going to have one number right smack dab in the middle. And the mode will not change. That's still going to be no mode because there are none that repeat. So that would be my prediction here. So I'm going to use this information. So my original was $42, but I'm getting the $2 back. So I know my total is 40. Or I could have taken my calculator, went 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 9 plus 13 equals 40. And then taken that and divide it by 5. So I have to take 40 divided by 5 to find my new mean, which is going to be 8 if you think of your basic facts. So my mean is 8. My original mean on the original data set was 7. The new median price, if I put them in order from smallest to largest, 4, 6, 8, 9, and 13, and I cross off the smallest and the greatest, and the next smallest and the next largest, 8 is going to be in the middle, my median is going to be 8, and my mode, there is none. So we don't have any that repeat. So my prediction was correct. And how did the new information affect the mean, median, and mode? Well, the mean actually increased and the median increased from the original set, and the mode stayed the same. And if we look at the last page, excuse me, it says I go to buy the original 6 games, and then they give me a 7th game for free. So that's the key word there, free. So my new data set still has to have 7 numbers in it. But since one game was free, that one cost me $0. So I'm going to have my 2, my 4, my 6, my 8, my $9, and my $13. But instead of dividing by 6 this time, I'm going to divide by 7. So I predict this new information will change the mean. The median is going to get smaller because I still only going to have 42, but I'm going to divide it by 7 games instead of 6. And I predict that the median is going to get changed. That's going to get smaller. And I also predict that the mode's going to stay the same because I still don't see any numbers that repeat. So after recording my prediction, my new calculations, if I put that in order, it's still going to add all the way up to 42. Okay, you can still get out your calculator and take 0 plus 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 9 or 13, or you can go back to that original data set and say, hey, it was 42, and I'm adding nothing to it. I'm adding a 0 to it, so it's going to stay 42. But this time I have to divide by 7 because I have 7 games in my set of data. So my mean is changed to 6 because 7 times 6 is 42. So my mean will be 6. Because remember, when you're finding the mean, you have to divide by how many pieces of data. And if we look up here, we have 7 games. And if it was free, we're just going to record $0 there. The median price, if I put those in order, the 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and 13, if you eliminate the smallest value and the largest value, and then the next smallest and next largest, and the next smallest and next largest, 6 is going to be right smack dab in the middle. So that's going to be our median or middle value. And mode, once again, is none. So was my prediction correct? Yes. How did the new information affect? Well, by adding 0 to the data set, the mean price is going to be lower, and so is the median price. Because you're adding one more game, but you're not changing the total value of your cost. So you're dividing your cost by actually more numbers. Therefore, that mean price has to be lower or less. So I hope this helps when you went through your assignment yesterday. But the big thing was always look at what is the new information they're giving you. And is that going to affect it? Yes. Anytime you add or subtract data from a data set, more than likely it's going to change the mean and the median. Not necessarily the mode unless you have a repeating value. Then it could.